The detention center on Europa smelled like recycled air and fear. Harry pressed his palms against the transparent aluminum wall of his cell, watching the ice plains stretch endlessly beyond the facility's protective dome. Somewhere out there, beneath kilometers of frozen water, ancient oceans harbored life forms humanity was only beginning to understand. He didn't belong here, but the verdict beast said otherwise. Prisoner 7743 stepped back from the wall. The automated voice echoed through his cell. Harry obeyed, his heart hammering as the door materialized into opacity. Someone was coming. The woman who entered wore the crisp gray uniform of the Judicial Corps, her dark hair pulled back severely from her face. She carried a datapad and an expression of professional detachment that Harry had seen too many times in the past 3 weeks. "I'm Officer Elsa Rourke," she said, her voice clipped and efficient. "I'm here to review your case before your final sentencing tomorrow." "I didn't cheat," Harry said automatically. It was the same thing he'd told everyone, the proctors, the initial investigators, the automated judge. No one believed him. How could they when the verdict beast had confirmed his guilt? Elsa's eyes flickered with something that might have been sympathy, but it vanished quickly. "The examination records show anomalous neural patterns during your certification test. The verdict beast detected deception when questioned about the source of your answers." She scrolled through her datapad. "The evidence is conclusive." "The evidence is wrong," Harry's voice cracked. He was 19 years old, and tomorrow they would strip him of his certification, ban him from ever working in astroengineering, and exile him to the mining colonies of Titan. His life, effectively over, because of a creature no one truly understood. "The verdict beasts have a 99.7% accuracy rate," Elsa said, but there was something in her tone, a hairline fracture in her certainty. "What about the 0.3%? Harry challenged. Elsa didn't answer. She studied him for a long moment, and Harry noticed the exhaustion shadowing her eyes, the way her fingers tightened almost imperceptibly on the datapad. This wasn't routine for her either. "Tell me what happened during your certification exam," she said finally. Harry had told this story so many times it felt rehearsed, hollow, but he told it again anyway. The 3-hour exam, the complex astroengineering problems, the feeling of his mind clicking into place as solutions crystallized. He'd studied for 2 years, sacrificed everything. He knew the material. "And you're absolutely certain you accessed no external information sources?" Elsa asked. "I'm certain. No neural implants, no quantum entanglement communication devices. Nothing. I don't even have basic neural augmentation. I can't afford it." Elsa's eyes sharpened. She made a note on her datapad. "You're unaugmented. Completely baseline human. Is that relevant?" "It might be." Elsa stood abruptly. "I need to verify something. I'll return in 1 hour." She left before Harry could ask what she meant. Elsa's hands trembled slightly as she rode the elevator down to sublevel 7, where they kept the verdict beasts. She'd been investigating judicial cases for 3 years, and something about Harry's case had been bothering her from the moment she'd reviewed the files. She just hadn't been able to identify what. Until he mentioned he was unaugmented. The sublevel was temperature-controlled to match the beast's native environment, the deep ocean trenches of Europa where they'd first been discovered 15 years ago. The air was humid, thick with the mineral tang of alien biochemistry. Elsa showed her credentials to the keeper, a grizzled man named Tors who'd worked with the beast since the beginning. "I need to review the interrogation footage for prisoner 7743, Elsa said. "Harry Castellan." Tors pulled up the holographic recording. Elsa watched as Harry, 3 weeks ago, was led into the interrogation chamber. The verdict beast waited in its containment tank, a massive creature that resembled a bioluminescent jellyfish, its translucent body pulsing with neural electricity. Tendrils of thought-reading neurons extended through the water, capable of detecting lies with uncanny precision. The interrogation proceeded normally. Harry answered questions. The beast's bioluminescence shifted colors, blues and greens for truth, reds and purples for deception. When asked if he cheated, the beast flared violent crimson. "Stop," Elsa said. "Rewind 30 seconds." Tors complied. Elsa watched again, more carefully this time. "Play it frame by frame." And there it was, so brief she'd almost missed it again. Just before Harry entered the interrogation chamber, the verdict beast had retreated to the far side of its tank. Its tendrils had contracted. For exactly 3.7 seconds, it had refused to approach the side of the tank nearest the door. "Tors, has a beast ever done that before?" The keeper frowned, studying the footage. "Retreated from a subject? Never. They're curious creatures. They usually press right up to the glass." "What would make one retreat?" "I don't know. Fear. Confusion. These creatures are partially telepathic, Officer Rourke. We've been using them for 15 years and we still don't fully understand how their minds work." Elsa felt her pulse quicken. "Pull up the interrogations for every unaugmented human we've tested in the past year." It took Tors 20 minutes to compile the data. When the results appeared, Elsa's breath caught. Every single unaugmented human tested showed the same pattern. The verdict beasts retreated momentarily before beginning interrogation, and in 47% of those cases, the beasts had indicated deception when none existed, confirmed later by evidence that exonerated the accused. "My God," Elsa whispered, "they can't read unaugmented humans properly." "That's impossible," Tors said. "The beasts read neural patterns, augmented or not shouldn't matter." "Unless the augmentations themselves are what the beasts actually read." Elsa's mind raced. "Neural implants create standardized patterns. The beasts learn to interpret those, but baseline human consciousness, it might be too complex, too organic. They can't get a clear reading, so they retreat. And when they're uncertain, they default to indicating deception." Tors stared at the data, his face pale. This would invalidate hundreds of convictions. "Thousands," Elsa corrected. "And one 19-year-old kid is being sentenced tomorrow because we trusted a system we never fully tested." Harry was lying on his cell's narrow bunk when Elsa returned, this time accompanied by Tors and 2 other officials. He sat up quickly, hope and dread warring in his chest. "Harry Castellan," Elsa said formally, "your conviction is being vacated pending a full review of verdict beast interrogation protocols for unaugmented humans. You're being released immediately." Harry's legs nearly gave out. "What?" Elsa allowed herself a small smile, the first Harry had seen from her. "The verdict beasts can't accurately read unaugmented human minds. You were telling the truth. We just couldn't see it." Over the following hours, as Harry was processed for release, Elsa explained what she'd discovered. The systematic error, the false positives, the lives ruined because humanity had placed absolute faith in alien creatures they barely understood. "Why didn't anyone catch this before?" Harry asked as they walked together through the facility's main corridor, heading toward freedom. "Confirmation bias," Elsa said. "The beasts were accurate for augmented humans, so we assumed they were accurate for everyone. And unaugmented humans are rare now, only about 8% of the population. Most are poor, marginalized, easy to overlook." "Like him," she didn't say, but Harry heard it anyway. At the exit, Harry paused. Through the transparent dome, Europa's ice field stretched beneath a sky dominated by Jupiter's massive, striped face. 3 weeks ago, he'd thought he'd never see Earth again, never work in the field he loved. Now he had a second chance. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for actually looking." Elsa met his eyes. "Thank you for being stubborn enough to keep claiming your innocence. Most people give up." "What happens now, to the others who were wrongly convicted?" "Now we fix it." Elsa's expression hardened with determination. "Every case, Every conviction based on verdict beast testimony for an unaugmented human gets reviewed. It'll take years, but we'll make it right. Harry nodded. Then, impulsively, he extended his hand. If you ever need someone to help, someone who understands what it's like to be on the wrong side of the system, let me know. Elsa shook his hand, her grip firm. I'll remember that, Harry Castellan. As Harry walked out into the cold, thin air of Europa's dome, he looked back once. Elsa stood in the facility's entrance, her gray uniform almost ghostly against the bright interior lights, already returning to work, already fighting for the others. The verdict beasts, Harry thought, had taught humanity an important lesson. That no matter how advanced their technology became, how alien their tools, they were only as good as their understanding of them. And understanding required doubt, questions, the courage to challenge what everyone believed was infallible. It was a lesson he'd never forget. End